Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everyone this morning? So good, I hope. So good. I have something so fun planned for us. I can't, oh my gosh. I've been waiting for this day. Okay, I'm going to blow my nose and then we're going to get started. Okay, so today, let's get this stuff taken care of first, shall we? If you are brand new here or you just haven't done this yet, if you would like, follow, subscribe, share, comment, all the things on Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs Facebook page, Instagram page, and YouTube channel. That would be so greatly appreciated. And then be sure to ask to join our 2 private Facebook pages, Stitch Along with Ann and Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs, both Facebook groups, excuse me. There's a difference between groups and pages. I've said in the past, if I knew that there was, I would have done it differently way back in the day, but I didn't, and so here we are. But we are in a group. You can share your photos and your pictures, and so that's what we want in a community, right? We want to share all the things. So be sure to do that. That's kind of really important. You'll be so happy that you did. And then for all things Ann and artsy, please go to AnnCorbiereScottDesigns.com and like to purchase the Aunt Marie art printable that we're using today. So let's get going, shall we? So I'm sure that many of you have pieces just like this in your stash. A piece that you started, but you just didn't finish. So I have this Aunt Marie piece that I have started to create with my colored pencils. You know, I love me some colored pencils. And I just didn't finish it. I just have these few flowers to finish. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. But then we're going to create something super cool with it as our hour continues. I do have a few stickers to put into my art journal. So let's take care of that. Good, this page is almost done. Isn't that something? I have another one of these organic banana stickers. I have more Wild Twist apple stickers. Wild Twist apples. Oh my gosh, I just love them. Okay, I have one here that's kind of scrunched up. But I think that I can save it. Yes, of course I can. There we go. One last Wild Twist. I think that's about all that. Well, I could put some sideways here. Anyway, that's pretty well. Good morning, Sue. How are you this morning? That one's pretty much full, and I think my other one is pretty full. Yep, this one's pretty full too, because I put some berry stickers in there, so that kind of took up a lot of that. Anywho, I hope that you are continuing to eat lots of fruits and vegetables so you can collect the stickers. If No, for no other reason besides fruit is delicious. Okay, so I am so excited to share today's, what do I want to say? Today's assignment, right? So it's going to go in here. I have some work to do to finish up. So I'm going to continue to, hey, Eva James, I'm going to continue to play with my colored pencils on the Aunt Marie. Just a sec. I'll put a link to Aunt Marie. It's a coverall. I love a coverall. I have another coverall kind of in mind. And so just be on the lookout for that. Okay. So I'll put the link for the Aunt Marie. And you know, if you have been here for a while, you know that Aunt Marie was one of my favorite aunts. She was the teller of family stories. And she made it to her 100th birthday. And I asked all of you to send her cards. So she got 100 birthday cards on her birthday. Well, I come from a giant family. And here's the thing. We all have lots of friends. And so guess what? She got well over 100 cards. I think in the end, I was over like close to 300 or something. It was so awesome. It was so awesome. She has since passed, like not long after she turned 100. But I love to think that she had the best. She had just the best 100th birthday. So, anyway, Aunt Marie grew up on Sugar Island, as did I. And so, the wildflowers are in abundance there. So that's what this page is filled with, wildflowers. So I have these to finish, this one and this. So this one is pinks. So let's fiddle with that some more. And I was thinking, how am I going to match up the colors? And I thought, please, I use the same dang colors all the time. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Good morning, Peg. So, oh my gosh, I just cannot wait to share with you what we're doing today. But I know that I used hot pink from Prismacolor. And what's the other one? Process Red from Prismacolor. That would have been, I'm sure that's exactly what I used. So just gonna find those. Well, let's just get started with this one, shall we? Let's just start. This one is slightly different than this one, but so let's do this one. More pinks, but I'm just gonna do some circly blend. There we go. So pretty, so pretty. Can you believe that we are at the end of April? It's gone so fast, hasn't it? So circly blend. I like to find that perfect flat spot on my pencil by just turning it as much as I can. And finding my perfect spot. That's like, I love that. Let's see. Gotta put my glasses on so I can see what Peggy had to say. I didn't have the Aunt Marie. Oh, I just love it. You have so much beautiful artwork on your website. Thank you, Peg. Good morning, Lindy Barnes. It's snowed up here this morning. Ah, I know, poor Mother Nature. She just doesn't get the memo, does she? She does not get the memo that it's supposed to be spring. If it snowed for you, I wonder if it snowed for my dad. I'll be calling him after class today. So, remember, we're just going to build, just a slow build of color and blending, because remember, that's what brings us the perfect, so we do the back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, and then the circly blend it out. And then we leave the center light, because that's how we get that beautiful form, remember? And you'll also remember, I'm sure, that a sharp pencil gives you crisp lines, but a rounded ended pencil gives you blending bliss. And that's kind of my sweet spot. I love the blendiness. Back, forth. We're just slowly building. Then circly. And no pressure. No, we're not using any pressure from that finger. We're just letting the color come off the end of the pencil slowly and organically. Back, forth, and then blend it out. So I went to see my uncle yesterday. Oh, we had a great time. We just had a great time. And I love that, you know, he's in his late 70s and I'm in my 60s and he still calls me kiddo. I love that. But anyway, one of the group activities they were having yesterday was poker. So I said, Uncle Andy, do you want to go? Do you want to go see what's what? And he said, yeah, let's go. He goes, I don't really know how to play poker. I go, well, me neither. I told him, you really should have brought Jeff or Teresa, because they are way better game players than me. And so we went down and we didn't know what we were doing in the beginning. But we had ourselves a time anyway, you know. We still giggled our heads off. There it is. Process red. Let's get a little bit of this deeper pink with that process red. Oh my gosh, I love that. But remember, we're barely, no pressure at all from our pen, from our finger, from that pointer that does all the heavy lifting for us. So we're just doing some slow color building this morning. Anyway, so we were down there for probably like an hour and a half at this table with lots of other people. So he got lots of people-y connections, and he had to use his noggin to you know, figure out where we were going with our cards. We were playing poker, and I was like, all I kept thinking in my head, and I'm not kidding, is it's kind of like Yahtzee. It's kind of like Yahtzee. I just have to think about Yahtzee, 3 of a kind, 2 of a kind, full house, right? And for those of you that play poker, don't laugh at my ignorance. So, eventually, we started to get the hang of it. I just drew flowers while Uncle Andy played cards. And it was Willie Nelson Day. So they have like a different artist of music that they play for all of these different activity days. And I was like, oh, Willie Nelson. Well, then I came home and it was his birthday yesterday and he's 93. 93! How amazing is that? I love that. And I told Uncle Andy, I go, you know what, here's the thing. I don't know any of the songs that they were playing, and I have quite an extensive Willie Nelson catalog in my digital totally agree. I'm much more experienced in Yahtzee. I swear to God, Peg. I was dying. I'm like, Uncle Andy, just think about Yahtzee. Just think about Yahtzee. Anyway. Oh my gosh. I have quite a lot of Willie Nelson music in my playlist, but the album that they were playing, I didn't know very many of those songs. But it's Willie Nelson, so how can you not like it? And so then Uncle Andy and I had this big conversation about Willie Nelson's songwriting career and how he wrote so many songs for so many other people, and how he he has this prolific songwriting career, like longer songwriting career, I think, almost than his singing career. I'm telling you, it was a great afternoon. It was a great afternoon. We just had ourselves a time. And today, I think he's going to play bingo. I'll go see him probably on Saturday. So I'm sure I'll get to hear about the whole week's escapades. It's giving me some nice, I'm filling in between these little divots, for lack of a better word. I'm getting some really cool form. And now I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on there. Get a little bit deeper line of color. Well, Lindy, I'm sorry that you got snow again. I was just telling somebody, I remember what was my friend Carmen, who grew up here. So she doesn't, it's so different when you grow up in the Southwest versus the Midwest. And I said, the big chest was, would you have to wear your dumb old winter coat on top of your Halloween costume? And would you have to wear your dumb old winter coat over your Easter dress? That was like the big thing every year. And most years we did. I hated wearing it over my Halloween costume because you're like, you can't even tell what I am. This big puffy coat. And it kind of cracks me up that they call it a puffy coat now, because they were all puffy coats back in the day, weren't they? Oh my gosh. So I was listening. This will tell you how eclectic my music, my whole music catalog is. I was listening to, just like I wrote it down this morning, The Carpenters' Close to You. There's a version of that song where they cut out everything except the vocals. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. But then after that, I was listening to the Gap Band. Does anybody remember the Gap Band? I love the Gap Band for a multitude of reasons, but one of the reasons I love the Gap Band is I took care of one of Jeff's. So do you remember in my former life, I had a in-home childcare. I had an in-home daycare in my house. And because remember, I have 2 degrees, one in early childhood education and one in graphic arts. 2 totally different times in my life. But, oh, just a sec. I need to take a drink. But when I had my in-home childcare, I took care of one of Jeff's college roommates, Juan. I'm sure I've talked about him here before. He is from Puerto Rico. Anyway, he had a little boy named Dominic. And we had, when I was pregnant, we got Dominic's, because Dominic was like probably 2 when I got pregnant. We got his crib, his high chair, his everything. Anyway, then and then I took care of Dominic, and then later on his brother Bryce, I took care of both of them in my childcare. Anyway, Dominic was the funniest little boy. One day we were talking about music, and he said, because he said, I brought my favorite music. I said, okay. So he pulled out a cassette tape, and it was of the Gap Band. And you'll remember the Gap Band because they sang You Dropped a Bomb on Me. So we danced to You Gotta Dropped a Bomb on Me. And we listened to the Gap Band because he had like a cassette of like the Gap Band's greatest hits or whatever. So we listened to all of them. I had danced at the club to the Gap Band. But he listened to it at home. I love it. I loved it. Anyway, so I came across this little I came across this little factoid this morning that the Gap Band, they are named the Gap Band. Did you know that they're named the Gap Band because of the 3 streets that intersected, that formed the heart of Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma? Greenwood Avenue, Archer Avenue, and Pine Avenue. And if you know anything about Black Wall Street, before 1921, this was one of the most thriving Black economic community hubs in America, built on ownership, excellence, and unity. And then it was destroyed during the Tulsa Race Massacre. But the legacy didn't disappear because the Gap Band kept their story alive. I love that. And isn't that funny? Like, It is the worst song to be asked to dance by a stranger. That's so funny. Oh, that's so funny, Peg. It is. That and Freebird by Leonard Skinner, because it's the longest song, isn't it? It's the longest song. I think I want to do my lime peel in the center here. I'm feeling like. Anyway, it's just interesting, isn't it? Like, I love to find out the stories behind things like that, don't you? Like, I love to find out the story behind the naming of a band or the naming of a song or just any of that stuff. I love all of that, finding that stuff out. So I'm trying to find the pointiest part of this pencil to fill in these little bits of this stamen. So I think about that. Every time I hear that song, I think about Dominic. There's a little Batman car. And him dancing in my living room, too. You dropped a bomb on me. And this is my favorite song. I thought that was so funny. So, let's see. What was the thing I wanted to talk about yesterday that I didn't get to? Just a sec. I have another hunk of paper here with, you know. You know, I have all my pieces of... Hey, Peg, did you see about the Mary Oliver documentary that's coming up August 25th? Saved by the Beauty of the World. Oh, I can't wait to see that. I cannot wait to see that. So, the whole... Good morning, Joni. How are you? So the whole reason we are doing these wildflowers is that tomorrow, May 1st, which is such a pivotal day in my life, because number one, it's May Day. Who doesn't love May Day? It's all about flowers. Number two, it is the 6th birthday of Anne Corbiere-Scott Designs. And it is the, it is another full moon. But this full moon is different because it is a micro moon, and it is called the flower moon. So you might remember Killers of the Flower Moon, about the Osage massacre, also in Oklahoma. Weird. Not connected by me, just oddly ironic. Anyway, it is the flower moon. So they call it the flower moon because it comes out in May, and it's, you know, that's in celebration of that represents all of the abundance of blooming flowers, right? But it's a micro moon, which is the opposite of a super moon, because when the moon orbits the earth, it orbits not in a complete circle, it orbits in kind of a stretched out oval. And when it's at the ends of that stretched out oval, that's when you get a micro moon, because it's further away, right? So it appears, what did they say? Just a sec. It appears 10% dimmer and 5 to 6% smaller. It is 5% to 6% smaller, but it also appears, it looks 14% smaller. I don't know. I'm just telling you what they say. But May is a crazy month because there are 2 full moons in May. One on the 1st and one on the on the 31st, and that will be a blue moon. So this one, we're going to color all these flowers, and then we're going to cut a moon out of here, and we're going to put it in our art journal. Shut up. Don't you love that? Don't you love that? Okay, everybody take a drink, for crying out loud. I just keep blabbing. I need to drink. Good morning, Valerie. I saw this thing the other day about, like, if you are feeling kind of stressed out or, you know. Oh, really, Peg? She noticed last night that the moon looked smaller and duller. Yeah, so tomorrow, and now I forgot to write down what time. But you can Google that. What time is the best time to see the flower moon? But I thought, because we're artists, we can literally have a flower moon, right? Let's do this. Let's color this with my lime peel. You know I love me some lime peel. So I don't know that I'll get this all colored by the time our time together is done, but I will post it in this week's newsletter. I hope you opened this past week's newsletter, because there's a special invitation in there and some really cool artwork from myself and my good friend Jennifer, who's on my design team all the way from Australia. I'm telling you, she is so clever. How she sees my artwork is so clever. I can't think of a better word. She's just extraordinary. So I'm doing that blendy. I did some back, forth, and then doing that circly blend. I don't know. I think I want to do something more on there. I think I want to do maybe right? Don't you love the idea of having a flower moon in our art journal? I love it. Okay, what is this? Sandbar brown. Let's see if we do a little bit of that down here. I mean, and again, no pressure at all from this finger. I'm just running and I printed this on 90-pound watercolor paper, so I have that watercolor texture, that bumpy kind of cold press sort of texture. I love cold press. I'm not a hot press is when watercolor paper is smooth. Cold press is when it has a texture. I like the texture. I feel like it's like one more layer of coolness in my creation. You know what I mean? Because the color is just going to lay on the top of the texture. I love that. I think this is olive. I think I bought this pencil when I was with, no, this is grass green. I bought this pencil when I was with Peggy at an art store in Madison, Wisconsin. And it was Art and Craftsman. Is it crazy that I can remember that? Oh my gosh, we had so much fun. Who doesn't have fun at an art store, you know? I like the addition of that grass green because look at that, like totally lightened everything up. Okay, this one, let's come come in with something brighter. What is this? Spring green. Let's see what we get with spring green in the very center of this. I'm thinking to that spring green. And just taking your time, you guys, you know? Fill in all those. All those little nooks and crannies with color. Oh, so I was telling you, I saw this thing the other day and I thought, oh, I gotta write that down. So they talked about, like, if you're feeling dysregulated in some kind of way, I think I need to add something more to that. I add a little bit of that lighter green there. Then I come in with that lime peel, blend that out a little bit. Kind of digging that. Okay, so here's the thing. So, if you're feeling a little bit dysregulated, close your eyes and picture this. I'm going to give you two things to picture. One, sunshine through the trees. You know, that like beautiful mottled sunshine coming through the trees when you're sitting under a tree. Oh my gosh, I love the way that looks. And the patterning that it makes on the ground, and or leaves that are, you know, how it looks on the leaves. I just love that idea. And the other one is close your eyes and picture this. Picture the best case scenario or positive outcome for something you're unsure about. Come on. I think that's just amazing. I just love that idea. I just love that idea. You know? Picturing the best case scenario. Because you know, we can go to the worst case scenario like nobody's business. True confessions, I'm cleaning my table because I'm going out of town, but I'm taking notes. Oh, and you can watch this over and over and over again, pegs. Let's see. So these two, let's go on. Let's move on. Oh, this is pink. I did this in pink. So let's do this one in pink, shall we? And it looks like I used processed red. Did I? Is that the same? Maybe it wasn't quite that. Maybe I did something a little lighter. Let's see, what's this one? I could layer these two pinks. This is a Holbein. No, who is this? Yes, this is Holbein, and it is Luminous Rose. Shut up with the Luminous Rose. Kind of digging that. And it's a little bit pointy, but not completely pointy, so it fills in these little petals perfectly. Something to consider when you are filling something with color. Like what kind of a tip on your colored pencil do you need? Do you need something a little bit pointy? Do you need something, is it a bigger open space? So you need the rounded, more rounded tip so that you get a nice blending bliss. Oh my gosh. Anybody have the Carpenter's or the Gap band in their head. The carpenter's close to you. You know what? I should have saved that. I should have saved that post. I'll see if I can find it to post in the group. That version where they just, oh my gosh, it's an old one because she had long, like she still had long hair and bangs, and was playing the drums as she sang. I mean, what a talent, right? What a talent, and what a tragedy that she passed in such a horrible way. I think people don't realize the power of their words. She was filled with words from record executives and the like that she wasn't good enough. What a horrible thing. Instead of just recognizing her talent, you know? I think even her mother was kind of not very nice about her body, which is awful. Your own mother, you know? I've heard that you're quite the carpenter's aficionado. Yes, I do love them too. I have the Carpenters, this is so crazy. I have the Carpenters Christmas album on a cassette and on a CD and on a and in my Apple Music. Crazy, huh? But I also have every Elton John album that way too. He's my favorite. I've been thinking about how big I want to cut this moon out. I think I want to cut it. I know even though it's supposed to be a smaller moon, I kind of want a big moon in my art journal. And that's called artistic license. And then what I'll do with the leftover bits and bobs, you know, it's going to be in a what we call a motherboard, or motherboard. Other people call it like a masterboard. And it'll go on a postcard or I don't know, some art piece. Oh no, now I'm going to have the Carpenters. Of course you are, Eva. They'll be singing to you all day long. I love the Carpenters. It's also my favorite album. Oh, which one is your favorite? The Christmas album? Because, shut up, I love that Christmas album. I love that Christmas album. Eva, you could waffle back and forth between the Carpenters and the Gap Band. All really good music. You know what I mean? All really good music. You guys, I'm thinking, just had a thought, and I know it's not going to get done before our time is done, but I'm thinking that once I finish all of my colored pencil, I think I want to do a watercolor wash of like a light blue, right? For the moon and all. Let me know your thoughts. There's something about it, isn't there? There's something about it. Yesterday during Stitch Along, I always do those Would You Rathers. Okay, here's the ones we did yesterday. Valerie, act like it's the first time you heard it. You don't know Eva James. You don't know the Gap Band. You don't know You Dropped a Bomb on Me. Party Train. I'm trying to think of another Gap Band song. You Dropped a Bomb on Me. That's the biggest one they had, I think. But I have the best of the Gap Band on my in my Apple Music too. And I had the cassette of that too. Because then once Dominic brought it to my house, I had to listen to that. Even when he wasn't there with me. Okay. I'm really thinking about that, painting a blue background. I just think that would be a really pretty, I think that would be really pretty. Drop the Bono. No, drop the bomb on me. You dropped a bomb on me, baby. It's very funk. Oh, I love that. I'm telling you, it's good, like, house cleaning music, or, I don't know, you're just kind of needing a little pick-me-up. Because the beat is extraordinary. Okay, oh, would you rather? Would you rather drink lemonade or iced tea? Lemonade or iced tea? Okay, loving that, loving that. I don't know exactly what I want to do here. I want to somehow indicate the green. I just need to ponder it a little bit. I need to ponder down here. I need to pull that a little bit, deepen that right there at the base. Here too. Mm-hmm. Here too. Let's do it here. It's my favorite green, so I can have every single stem be the same green because it's my flower moon, right? I love that. These, I think I drew them as like giant forget-me-nots, if I'm remembering correctly. So, let's find a nice periwinkle-ish blue. What is this one? Periwinkle. Shut up. Ooh, everybody take a drink. I love a periwinkle. Let's just get a base of color down first. There we go. Oh my gosh, it's coming together. So be on the lookout tomorrow for a 6th birthday celebration. Did you listen, Eva James? You might be younger and didn't hear it as much as we did. Lemonade and iced tea, Peg, and lemonade. Me too, Sue. I like a lemonade. Okay, are you ready for the next one? Eva James, lemonade or iced tea? Swim in a pool or swim in the ocean? Would you rather swim in the pool or swim in the ocean? Iced tea. Interesting. Swim in the pool or swim in the ocean? So I'm just getting some base color down, and then I'm going to fiddle around with my next move. Oh, I have these to do too. Stop it. Loving that. Lounge by the pool. Ocean. Interesting. Oh, swim in the ocean, lounge by the pool. Interesting. Interesting. I like to swim in my pool because it's in my backyard and I can swim all the time. But I told everybody in my stitch along yesterday, my eczema goes into like a hot flare when I swim. So my dermatologist has all of these ideas for me to try to get it not so that my legs aren't so itchy. But I swim anyway, even though I itch like crazy. I love swimming. And it's mostly walking back and forth in my pool. That's where I have like some of my best pondering. I just like to walk back and forth, back and forth. I do like to lay on the beach. I do love the beach though, I have to say. And we kind of are a beach family. Number one, I grew up in Michigan. Lots of beach. Number two, my husband's mother and father live in California. Lots of beach. Lots of beach. And we had a whole, now that my father-in-law's gone, we still go to the beach, just not as much as we used to. She doesn't, well, sometimes we can get her to go down to the beach and just sit in a chair and read a book. That's what she and I do best of all. We just read on the beach. It's the best. All that fresh air and, it's just the best. You just lose yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, where all of a sudden you're like, how did I sit here for 3 hours and didn't even know and didn't move? You know? Oh my gosh, I'm loving it so much. So let's start to deepen little by little, going around. Oh my gosh, I just love it. I just love how, with the deepening of colors, with the blendy bliss, with all of that, I get iced tea and swim in the ocean. No chlorine. Pool. Love the beach, don't care for the sand. I get it, Eva. My husband hates that our car is always full of sand when we leave the beach. Even though we try like the dickens to rub it all off before we get there, something always has sand on it. And we always, you know, we always took snacks to the beach. And we always had a whole bunch of kids with us. So if you wanted some chips, you needed to be the first one to dig in that bag of chips, because after that, they're all covered in sand by somebody's sandy little hand. And then it feels like grit in your teeth. Look at that, just that little bit. Look at the difference between here and here. Ugh, love it so much. Okay, the last, would you rather? Would you rather eat a watermelon or a pineapple? I'm going to the beach Saturday for a week. Shut up. What beach are you going to? I've tried to find a beach wherever I go. If it's a lake beach or an ocean beach, I don't care. I can sit and read a book wherever I am. I went to Puerto Rico for my 60th birthday, and not long after I went, Peggy went. And Peggy influences me like nobody's business. Not like she it's not her intention. She just, you know, if she has a good idea, then I want a good idea. She influenced me on a car. I think we're equal opportunity influencers, though. Like, you know, hey, try this new pen. Whatever it is. But that's kind of who we are, isn't it? As a people? As artsy people? Destin, Florida. Oh my gosh. I have never been to Destin, Florida, but I hear it's fabulous. Don't they have unusual sand at Destin Beach in Destin, Florida? I'll take the pineapple and the watermelon. I would take watermelon. I love pineapple too, but I like watermelon a little bit more. But yes, I would probably take them both in a fruit salad. How fabulous would that be? Anyone else? So I cannot wait to see all of your flower moons in your art journals. Be sure to take pictures after you adhere it on the page. I'm dying to see. Go out and make it a tremendous Thursday. I will too. I will try my darndest. And be sure to open your newsletter this weekend. They come out on Sunday. Sometimes it's late Sunday, just so you know. So you might find it on Monday morning in your mailbox. Your email mailbox. So, I will. Hey, Kay. I will bid you all adieu. White sand beaches, that's what it is. We went there on family trips, and now my sister and I go. Yes, I do remember that now, Peg. I do remember that. Destin is wonderful. If you want a very calm ocean, great for little kids or 60-something ladies. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I will bid you adieu, and I will see you in the newsletter and next week at Pop-In Paint Party. I adore you all. Finish your flower moons and put them in your art journals and then post pictures. Thank you, every one of you, for taking time. If you're watching this on the replay, please put #replay so we know you've been here. And answer any of the questions that we've been talking about. Or, chime in on your, on your whatever. I adore you all. Thanks so much, everyone. See you later. Bye.